It's not uncommon for a driver to speed up just before he gets in his pit box. Yeah, let's see if we can see anything. Yeah, you just saw him. See, I've seen drivers, we've all done that. Right before we get to our pit box, we give it a little shot just to get right in our pit box.
The reason drivers are able to pull this off is because in NASCAR, pit road speed isn't measured instantaneously, but rather by measuring the time elapsed between these checkpoints, or timing loops on pit road. Take this example here. Let's call the speed limit 60 miles per hour, which is 88 feet per second. Let's call the length of pit road 1,500 feet. And although the timing loops aren't spaced out evenly on the real racetrack, we will evenly space them out here just to make the math easier. This doesn't affect how the system works, and you can have any configuration of timing loops and everything still applies the same way. So I'll have 15 evenly spaced segments, each 100 feet long. Now we're talking about speed limits. Speed is defined as the distance traveled over time. So with this equation, if the limit is 88 feet per second and a segment is 100 feet long, the minimum amount of time you could spend in a segment is about 1.14 seconds, which we can visualize with a graph. Say you're going down pit road at a constant speed at the maximum speed. What does that look like on the graph? Well, it's a straight line. The y-axis reaches 100 feet, the length of the segment, and the x-axis reaches 1.14 seconds, that minimum time we talked about. And if we measure the slope of this line, we end up with the speed limit on pit road. But what if the line isn't straight? I'm going to keep the start and end points of this graph, and I'm going to draw a curve between them. Measuring the slope of the graph closer to the start of the segment, we see the driver is going faster than the speed limit. Near the end of the segment, he's slower than the speed limit. What does this information on the graph mean in real life? Well, the driver starts off going too fast, but slows down before the end of the timing loop. It so happens that the average of all the slopes in this curve is the speed limit. To put it simply, so long as you don't go over this point in your distance over time graph, you're good. You won't get black flagged. It doesn't matter what shape you take on the graph. If you realize you're going too fast, you can slow it down before you cross the next timing loop and you'll be fine. How about a shape like this? Well, he's going forward, then has zero slope here, meaning he's stopped. Then he picks up speed again. It's a pit stop. But hang on, pit stops take time. Let's say about 12 to 14 seconds for 4 tires and fuel. That's automatically more time than the minimum possible time you can spend in a segment. So in the segment your pit stall is located in, you can really go as fast as you can. The only limit being, of course, you can't go so fast that you miss your box. Because it doesn't matter how fast you go going into your box, you're already over the minimum with that pit stop. One last thing. I find it funny that the theoretical fastest possible option is a graph like this, getting right into your box, then getting right to the end of the loop. Measure these slopes and you find that you're dividing by 0 and you have an undefined value, and you can interpret this as the driver going infinitely fast in these portions.
Now that's epic.